So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. In an absolute Lazarus-like comeback after 86 and a bit minutes, Villa end up winning 3-1 against Crystal Palace. That was more difficult, I think, than Aston Villa would have liked. I think it was more difficult than it should have been for Aston Villa. I suppose my view on this is that Palace came in to hunker down in the first half, which they did. Villa should have gone in 1-0 up. After that, Moussa Diaby goal was chalked off, and I think it was chalked off correctly as well. But should have gone in 1-0 up. I think they were just streets ahead of Crystal Palace for the first half. I genuinely actually think they were streets ahead of Palace for the whole game, other than Palace were really resolute. Palace then nick a goal straight out after half time. I will continue to say, and I will say this as a talking point for time immemorial almost, that leadership is a big thing, and leadership is something that this team is beginning to learn and trying to grow. And you can see goals straight out after halftime like that when you don't have, I suppose, people in the dressing room that can, solidify like that. Anyway, besides that point, I think the Villa did huff and puff an awful lot. We found it very difficult to get anything going in the second half, up until John Duran comes on and absolutely spanks one into the back of the net. What a goal. What a goal to bring a team level. Really, really good goal. Before I start going on, I suppose I'm going to talk about the goals, I suppose. The penalty, great work from Ollie Watkins, was a penalty for me. Took forever to be overturned. You know how I feel with regards to penalties, and clear and obvious, there was no way that could have been overturned for me. I think that it was a penalty, and if you have to take 7 minutes to decide whether it is a penalty or isn't a penalty, then you need to just get rid of that line that says clear and obvious, because that is the ball breaker for me when stuff like this happens. But Villa got the penalty, and I think it was a penalty. And I know I'm going to see a load of comments going, "You'd be screaming if it was given against Aston Villa." I probably wouldn't. Go back on all the podcasts and find one where I have, where it's been in that exact situation, or not exact situation, but that situation, similar situation. Like, he gets Watkins first. Put it this way, it would have been given against Aston Villa. That's whether I give out about it or not, it would have been given against Aston Villa. But if that was Bruno Fernandes, that's a penalty. If that's Harry Kane, that's a penalty. If that's I labour my point, but you know what I mean. So then Dougie spanks it into the back of the net again. I think I've said spank twice, and I don't think I've ever used that word before. But dispatches the penalty into the back of the net nicely, and Villa are 2-1 up, well into injury time, into I think it was the 97th minute. Leander Dendoncker comes on then for Ollie Watkins to solidify it up, and Villa get the break away. Diaby down the left hand side and lets a ball across the box. Bailey takes a touch and slams it home. The celebration from Moussa Diaby was absolutely fantastic. Go back and watch it. Diaby passes the ball. Once it goes to Bailey and Bailey scores, Moussa Diaby slides on his knees in behind the goals. It's absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And now Aston Villa sit in 7th position with a +1 goal difference after shipping lots of goals already this season. I suppose in 2 games, 5 in the first game, 3 against Liverpool. We sit in a +1 goal difference with 9 points, 5 games played, and we leapfrog Crystal Palace into 7th place as well. So I'm really, really delighted with the result. I'm probably going to sit here and be happier with the performance than most, even though it was flat. I can completely and utterly say it was flat. I think Sam Johnson was very good in goals. I think one of the chances Watkins had, I think he should have scored. The one where he hit the crossbar, I think he should have. I think that one he should have scored. The one in the first half, I think, was a good save. we can nitpick all we want and say he could have taken it in further. Yeah, he absolutely could have. But I think his shot was good enough. I think it was a good save from Johnson. And I can't remember. I think he missed another one in the second half as well, Watkins. But worked tirelessly. As I say, if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all with the one that went off the crossbar. But it is what it is. No, it didn't dampen the scoreline as we won 3-1. Paddy's after hopping on here now again. I've given a 5-minute little soliloquy about what my feelings were in that game. A real kind of get out of jail free Lazarus stuff. It was, but I still think Villa, if Villa had lost that game today, the better side would have lost for me. And I know it wasn't pretty, and I know it was shite at times in the second half, but Villa were still better when the game was poor in the second half, I thought.
Well, look, first and foremost, there's 3 points on the board. That's what we wanted out of today. I didn't care how we got them. I'm actually still shaking. I don't know what I just fucking watched there in the last fucking 10 minutes between the blatant and obvious like time wasting that was going on.
Yeah.
And
I said I'd leave that one for you.
Killing the game, absolutely killing the game. Look, the game changed on something that I touched on before the game. You going off injured made them a better side.
I would have challenged you on that and said, Jesus, I don't know. But you're right. Mateta was a different animal. And they went 4-4-2.
They went 4-4-2. Then it brought Eze into the game. He was buzzing around behind those front two instead of playing the three as they were. And then when they regrouped at halftime, they said to Eze, we're going to push you out wide and push Matty Cash back further down the line. That took another out ball off us. Because I lost count the amount of times Pau Torres played that absolutely magnificent ball to Matty Cash in the first half. It was just an outrageous game of football. I don't even know where to start from a terrible miss from Ollie Watkins to not throwing himself at the ball that came across from Matty Cash to Leon Bailey coming on and me punching the couch and going, fucking so many questions here, and Leon Bailey is not the fucking answer.
I thought he played well when he came on. I said it there. Sorry, I'll find my words there again. Like, he came on in the 57th minute. I thought Zaniolo. I thought he played way too deep. Number one. If we want to talk about him, I thought he played way too deep, but there was times when he broke the first challenge. I know that sounds very rugby-like, but when he broke the first challenge and he was able to get a head of steam up, he looked. There was one run from Watkins, might be the worst run you will see all weekend. He just ran right beside Zaniolo. He had to stop and arc around and come from behind Zaniolo. Would have been the perfect run, but anyway, Zaniolo was in stride and he just had no options. I think went into Diaby, and Diaby shot was blocked. But I think there was promising signs from him as well. But I think when Bailey came on, I think he was good for his goal, and he was an outlet for us, albeit that he did come on in the part where Villa were very flat.
Yeah, and look, he did okay, but again, he just is a selfish footballer that gets on the ball and doesn't look up. He'll look up before he gets the ball, but then he'll just run down blind alleys and try and hope there's someone on the end of a cross that he puts in. He's just a very frustrating footballer to watch, and I just didn't feel he was the answer today. But we managed to somehow come out of that with yet another poor refereeing performance, I thought. When you take into the consideration that Boubacar Kamara had to go off and take off a ripped shirt that he never went back and booked Hughes for. Yes, he booked Duran or Bailey, whatever one it was there in the last minute for a little tug on the jersey. Like, where is the consistency? They're more worried about implementing these new laws than they are about putting in the basic fucking laws. And that's all we want them to do. We shouldn't even be talking about him today. Did you talk about the penalty?
I did, yeah. I thought it was a penalty all day long. I thought it was a penalty, and I thought the more they slowed it down, the more you could, and that's the difference. He goes through Watkins to get the ball, where he clips Watkins first, then gets the ball, I thought. I was never in any doubt it was going to be overturned, and then he goes to the screen, and then 7 minutes later, we get our decision. So I know, like, when you slow things down, it's the old adage. You can miss frame from frame.
I knew once he had gone beyond 30 seconds looking at it that there was doubt in his mind that he felt he was right, and he was having the conversation with the VAR saying, this is my thought on it. And VAR obviously were adamant that he was wrong and kept showing him different angles of it. But the more you looked at it, when he does draw back to kick the ball, he kicks Watkins first. And that ultimately, whether it's right or wrong, that's ultimately why he gave the penalty. So the main thing here is, and they'll throw it at us left, right, and centre. Was there a clear and obvious mistake by the referee? No, there wasn't. So it's a penalty. Now you can call that claret and blue. You can call that claret and blue glasses if you want. That's what we're told week in, week fucking out against the big six. So I'm fucking taking this one that it wasn't a clear and obvious error. So it's a penalty.
Yeah. It was penalty. I think it was penalty as well. And Douglas Luiz, do you know what? It takes fair stones to be able to stand up and take a penalty after that length of time. A fair play to him. He's come on. He started taking penalties. He's 2 from 2 now, and he just slotted that one into the side netting, and it was absolutely brilliant. And again, it takes some stones after the length of time that the wait for the penalty to be given. But it's also the 96th minute, and your team was down 1-0 up until the 87th minute. So going in your head, this is smash and grab territory. This is really smash and grab territory,
Yeah.
So to be able to have that, and once again, I said at the start, I said before you came on, Paddy, the goal we conceded straight out of half time was lack of application. We switched off, lack of leadership. I said, and I still stand over that, and I will continue to say that until somebody stands up and actually shows me that they are and that's not to say we would have conceded half time. We wouldn't have conceded half time. Mings was on the goal on the field, because we have conceded goals like that with him on the field. But the better a team gets, the more clued on they have to be in situations like that. And that was a sucker punch, because there's no way we deserve to be 1-0 down after the first half. But then that sucks the wind out of our sails. And then Crystal Palace can just go back into their shell. And now Palace did attack a lot more once they went 1-0 up, and we were flat as a pancake and we couldn't get anything going until John Duran decides to take one down in his chest rider over style and absolutely rainbowed into the top corner. Paddy, what a strike.
Before I even talk about the strike, Neil, when we hung up off live,
don't, Paddy,
you knew it, didn't you? You knew I was going to say this, didn't you?
I knew you were going to say it. Yeah, there was.
All right, I won't say it. But we had a little conversation about John Duran's finishing, and I'm going to ask you. I never got to ask the burning question in the team sheet tantrum. Was there anyone you would put into our team? So I'm going to ask you this one. How good is John Duran's finishing?
John Duran's finish was very good there. It was absolutely. Do you know what? It was instinctual. We've said it before. John Duran is a guy that you don't want to take the love of play and the giddiness about playing football away from him. He's kind of a guy you don't want to overcoach, because he's raw as the day is long, and raw people like that score goals. Look, okay, I'm not saying John Duran is Gabriel Batistuta, but there was I read an awful lot. He's one of my favorite players of all time, Gabriel Batistuta. People who watch the podcast will know. Just one of the most outrageous finishers, and the reason being was because coaches at a young age, when he was coming through in Argentina, said, we cannot make this guy play in system. And same with Totti. Totti was the same. Can't make him play in system, because if we do, we're going to take out what makes him good. So yes, John Duran has stuff to do, but you can see it. Ollie Watkins has been trained to be a striker, and sometimes he overthinks it, and that's why he hits it straight at the goalkeeper or stuff like that. There's a natural ability to that. Now, I'm saying Duran was not that.
From what I've seen of him since he's come in, what he is to me, and who I would compare him to, is an unpolished Christian Benteke.
Oh yeah.
He has the physique. He's got the muscle, he's got the power, he has everything about him, just a little bit of rawness that needs to be polished. And that is why the professor has kept him around the squad, because he has obviously seen it. Everyone around the club has obviously seen it. And look, nourish it. Let him sit on the bench and come off and do stuff like that, because it was absolute gold today. It was absolute gold. I really thought our luck was out when that one came back off the post and hit Johnston and went wide. We don't get ones like that. Martinez is the one that fucking hits him in the head and goes in. We just don't get that look. So to get that goal was much better than it coming back and hitting Sam Johnson in the head. That was just epic. I really enjoyed that celebration when the ball went in.
Yeah. There's somebody telling people to unsubscribe from the channel and saying that we're very unfair on what we're saying here about Liam Bailey. Guys, I just literally said he played
Did I?
really well when he came on. He scored a goal, and it was brilliant to see the way he took the touch in the penalty area instead of taking the shot. I don't think I've said anything negative about it. So just to Rob and specifically to Sashana Daly, who is unsubscribing from the show. That's okay. That's well 100% within your rights to unsubscribe from the show as well. But I'm not 100% sure that we said anything negative about Leon Bailey. In fact, we actually praised him for taking the time in the box to put the ball into the back of the net.
I said something negative. I said something negative about him, and I've no problem saying it again. I don't feel he's good enough for this level. I don't care what Shazana can spell shit. If it's a shit channel, it's a shit channel. It's your choice to come and watch it. But he is not good enough for this level. He has yet to prove to me that he's good enough to play in our team. I don't care what anyone says. It's only him that can convince me that that is the case. He is given chance after chance after chance. So he obviously thinks that he's good enough, but he just hasn't shown it consistently on the pitch. I said it when we were discussing it when I come on first. He's head down into the corner trying to beat players. He never looks up to see who's looking for the ball unless there's somebody close by him. And you can see it a couple of times, Matty Cash overlapping. It's Matty Cash talking in his ear because he doesn't look up to see where players are. That's my observation. I'm not doing this to have a go at Leon Bailey or his nationality or anything got to do with him. This is just an observation that he's not good enough at this level. Yes, he scored the goal. I felt he shouldn't have taken a touch. There's another criticism.
He should have, because I think it was brilliant, because I was crediting him for taking the touch in the box and sticking it in the back of the net because, as I say, I feel he needs to be a bit more composed than he is. And I think if he slows down a small little bit, I think he's relying on his pace too much. If he slows down a small bit, I think he'd be a much better player.
If somebody wants to come in and tell us that they're not happy with what we're saying, that's all part of being a fan. That's absolutely fine.
100%,
I come home from work every day and my kids tell me I'm talking shit. That's just life. That's the way it is. So look, if you don't agree with me, you don't agree with me. You don't have to. I'm not telling people to agree with me, but you've tuned in here to listen to what we have to say. That's my honest opinion and assessment on Leon Bailey. He's never once done it consistently throughout a game for me. I say the same things about Ollie Watkins, and I would say this exact same thing. I did it twice already today. I said he should have put away his chance. He should have dived foot long, feet first at the ball that went across from Matty Cash. I thought Luca Dean was poor as well today. It's not just one player we pick on. We have to call it like it is. Otherwise, people won't listen at all. There you go. I was so looking forward to Zaniolo today. Zaniolo showed flashes. Did he look like he was up to speed yet? Absolutely not. Yeah. Do I think he might be? I think there's great potential there. I'm totally full of piss and vinegar after that performance. That I know I'm going back and forward between different decisions, but look, we're here to tell you what we think. If people don't like it, I'm absolutely fine with it. It's until you tell me, Neil, you don't want me here anymore. That's absolutely fine.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I didn't think Luca Dean was poor today. I thought Luca Dean played to Luca Dean's strengths. Like the parts he does well, I think he did well. I think his crosses were really good today. We had no one to get in the end of them again, and that's a real asset in his game. I think the defensive side
did a disservice to Crystal Palace there because I thought they marshalled him very well and got very tight to him when he got into those positions. So that's just me now giving out because the guys are giving out about my opinion, but. I thought Palace were excellent today in a team that's sitting in mid-table, that's happy to sit in mid-table and happy to kill off a game after going 1-0 up. If that's the way they want to play, that's fine. For me, that's not football, but they got their tactics absolutely spot on. Unfortunately, their tactic of playing too much lying on the ground has ultimately caught them out and has them in the position they're in now because they were the master of their downfall, and that's happened to us in the past too. So I'm absolutely fine with that. But I thought they were excellent. I thought that their decision to stand off us in our defensive third of the pitch and let us have the ball, and then as soon as we come over the halfway line, they were standing on toes. I really thought they did a really workmanlike performance from Palace. It does feel like a smash and grab, given that they came to get something out of the game. They didn't get there. They were unlucky, but it is what it is.
Yeah, as I said before, beforehand, before you came on there, I think Villa were the better team throughout. I think they were the better team throughout. Like I don't think anybody was exceedingly poor today as such. I think there was people who found it difficult to get into the game because Crystal Palace, the way Palace played, like Pau Torres had 123 passes in the game today. Crystal Palace between everybody on the Crystal Palace team, they had 292 passes. So he had roughly about one third more passes on his own than one third of the Crystal Palace team put together today. So that to me, like, yes, was he not strong enough for the goal? Yeah, I'm going to say so. But I also think Emmy Martinez slips as well coming out, and that makes things an awful lot easier. Look, the Crystal Palace goal is what the Crystal Palace goal is. As I say, I think that's very much a concentration drop goal. But as I say, look, we're absolutely delighted we're 3-1 here, and I think this is is definitely something that Villa can build on, because like if Villa won 3-1 against Palace today, they're probably in a situation whereby they go, okay, yeah, we might have, look, I'm not going to be cocky and say it, but they go, yeah, look, we're playing at home, we have a really good home record, we're going for 10 wins in a row at home. We would have expected to go out there and beat Crystal Palace. The scoreline was a bit irrelevant. But Villa coming back after 87 minutes and winning 3-1, I think the team will use that as a very much galvanising situation. I think it'll be big for Leon Bailey to have gotten that goal. I think it would have been even bigger if Watkins could have got a goal today. But Duran scoring, when Watkins is going through his Barron patch, Duran banging in pelters like that is absolutely fantastic. And the fact that goals are coming from other places. Last year we relied on Ollie Watkins to get into Europe. This year Ollie Watkins is relying on us, us, hear me, the rest of the team to I suppose to help him while he's going through his barren patch as well. So I think that you can see the togetherness in this team, albeit I still think that there's just one big, huge leader that's waiting to break out in this team. And I still have my money on Ezri Konsa being that person when it does happen. But overall, I think fair play to Unai Emery as well. Substitutions made a difference. Bailey gets a goal. Watkins Duran gets a goal. Was it Tielemans played the ball into Watkins for the penalty?
Yeah, super ball.
Yeah,
absolutely
there we go.
Super ball.
So all of the caramel, yeah. So like all the substitutions Unai Emery made changed the game. And I know once we went 1-1, I think you could severely see the Crystal Palace dropped, their heads dropped. But for us to win 3-1 is the mark of the team. Just shows arguments to be said in the second half. We looked a bit leggy at times, but I think the substitutions freshened it up, and fair play to Unai Emery for that, because we criticised the substitution of not bringing on Longley the last day as well, so going for the juggler was the correct thing to do, and boy did he do that when he brought on those three players as well. I think that's in
and look,
that's impressive.
If you're wrong, you put up your hands. I got really frustrated when I saw the sub was McGinn for Duran. I thought that was wrong, because I thought Watkins was toothless enough and wasn't getting involved in the play. So I didn't see how it was going to change things. But that's why Unai Emery's in the dugout and I'm not. So there you are. I can admit when I'm wrong too.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, put a pin in that one, everyone. I'm joking. But yeah. Look, listen. It'll be written in the back pages of the papers. It was a smash and grab, I suppose. On the balance of play, Villa were the better team today. Crystal Palace had their game plan. Their goal was error-ridden in our side of things and fortuitous in their side of things as well. There's nothing fortuitous about the equalising goal, and I think that's the one that you really got to look at for Aston Villa. It was a moment of brilliance, and without that, we don't go forward. I think net positives all over the place for this team today. The coming back from that, the 10 games won in the spin in at home is huge for this team, and I'm really looking forward to who have we next? Is it Chelsea away next? Well, we've Warsaw, and so we've Legia Warsaw and then away, and then Chelsea away. So it's going to be it's going to be a busy week. But look, as I say, 3-1 win will raise all boats, I think, in training, and specifically when it's the substitutes to come on and do that. It's always like the manager will have an extra pep in his step to know that he influenced the game too.
Yeah, and look, it's 67% possession across nearly 120 minutes, whatever it was. 16 shots versus 6. That speaks for itself. accurate passes, 515 versus 225. I think that tells
Yeah.
you we were the better side. There's lots of ways of looking at this, and it's all very raw. Having been totally dejected after 90 minutes to seeing that goal going in, it's and someone made a comment there. I lost it there when someone changed the subject, but in previous games, in previous eras, we'd have lost that game today, and it would have stayed 1-0. But he mixed it up. He had the balls to pull out his captain and make that decision. And look, yeah, we hold our hands up and go, well done, fair play. Obviously, a very good decision to bring in John Duran, who's obviously a really good finisher of the ball.
And I can put my hand up and say, I won't say that I was wrong, but I said, I've only seen him score one goal, and that was when the goalkeeper came out. David Marshall came out and was in the middle of nowhere when he slotted it home. So that was the comment I made afterward to Paddy. I said, I don't know whether he is a good finisher or not. And I said, but then he goes away and he does that today, and I'm going, yeah, I'm delighted. I'm wrong. I'm delighted I put a hex in it. But obviously, look, there's the big John Duran fan, as I say, and delighted for him today. Like, he's got to be buzzing. He's not even 20 yet. And to do that in the Premier League, there's going to be all eyes on him now, and justifies the 18 million that we spent on him. The goal against Hibs, and that goal today. Look, that's good. That's going to justify. It's justifying keeping him around the squad, and it's justifying beginning to justify the money that we've spent on him. So well done to him, and well done to everyone today, as I say, because it takes a team effort to come back, and it's what we did, and we win 3-1 today, and onwards to Legia Warsaw on Thursday, and best luck to everybody travelling to that. We will be back with a preview of that game and team sheet tantrums, all the shebang with that, and then the same with Chelsea on. Oh, Chelsea Sunday might be a bit difficult for me, Paddy. I'm on a stag. So,
oh dear.
Oh dear is right. And I'll be coming home for it. I wouldn't mind if I was in the middle of it. I'd be full of salubrious beer, but I'll be coming home for it. So I could be full of all the dread of the world. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on that one. Who do you think was? Oh yeah, sorry, Dougie Luiz scored against Everton as well. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Who do you think was man of the match, Paddy?
That's I my heart is telling me to give it to Pau Torres for watching those unbelievable balls he was playing.
Isn't he?
Difficult. Like, Douglas Luiz is just a class act, and he's growing into that shirt. He's growing into that shirt. He's just a leader amongst men in there. He very rarely gives the ball away. When he does, he works his bollocks off to get it back. You know, that in itself is leadership skills that you can't teach the young players of today. So. I'd have to give it to Dougie. I think he's just and then that composed penalty that he just waited, watched the movement of the goalkeeper, and bang, back in the net.
Ian Smith is Neil in a onesie. No, but I wish I was. It's just a massive hoodie, Ian. It's an absolute massive. That one's made me laugh because I realised, and I'm watching it, this is bloody huge. This hoodie.
You're like Winnie the Pooh there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Winnie the Pooh jumper. I'm like Winnie the Pooh without it anyway, with my belly hanging out underneath most t-shirts I wear as well. And Shane Coleman, thanks a million. Thanks for the catharsis. He says, Paddy is right in Bailey, up the Villa. Yeah, as I said, look, there's nothing to say that the Bailey can't become. Oh, and Nathan, sorry, I completely missed that one as well. Thank you so much, Nathan, for that as well. He says, up the Villa, there's nothing to say that Leon Bailey can't find form and become consistent in the league. But, you know, as I say, here we are today. Fair play to him for scoring his goal. Ref was kind, says Sir Unai Emery. Tielemans got to start next. I think Tielemans will start against Legia Warsaw for sure. I don't think he starts against Chelsea though, but I do think he will start against Warsaw for certain. There was also another one here. It was from Anna Grady. Says, say happy birthday to Ant. Ant was at our podcast last weekend as well, with Debbie, and both of them are Villa Park today, wearing their full of Paul McGrath bucket hats that never actually made it on general sale on the website, but they were available to be bought at the podcast as well. So if you see anybody wearing for the love of Paul McGrath bucket hat, get on to me. I must order a few more of them as well. But yeah, and thanks very much once again to everybody who did come to our live podcast. Really, really enjoyed everybody that was there. We're going to leave. Sorry. remember how to talk. We're going to leave it at that, everybody. It's been nearly half an hour. I am going to get murdered when I go back inside because I've put together a wardrobe, and also, that's not going to be fun. But at least I'll be able to smile after a 3-1 win for Aston Villa today. Thanks a million, everybody, for tuning in. There was nearly 560 people here at one stage. Really appreciate your time. As I say, we might have disagreements about opinions and everything like that. That's absolutely fine. But I really appreciate your time because we can never give you that back. And we hope to see you again for the Leisure Warsaw preview, team sheet tantrum, post-match, and so on and so forth. It's just going to be a busy time in podcasting in the future. So I wouldn't have it any other way. So thanks very much, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.